Hi, we're here at the Siesta County Municipal Building, in Administration Building, and we're interviewing Mike Hutchinson. Now, Mike Hutchinson.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Can you tell us why we're here today?
Yeah, we're here to, well, I'm here to support Lourdes and Siesta Key on the hotel issue. I think it's really a big safety issue. One, two, from my point of view, I live out east. I used to come in the summer to Siesta Beach to see the sunset, and you can't get a parking spot anymore. So it's time to slow down and not approve any more hotel growth. And the traffic is a problem, so I'm here to support them, and hopefully they'll win this case as well as all the ones they've been winning.
Well, and also there's the key evacuation problem.
Absolutely.
I mean, there are massive problems with this. And it seems to me all the county commission and Sarasota are attempting to do is just change the comprehensive plan.
Yep.
Without consideration for these issues.
Yep. Well, on the last go around, I actually gave each of the county commissioners a copy of Condominium by John D. McDonald. Didn't seem to do much good.
Nothing does seem, except something like this. Everybody concerned as individuals.
Look, our hero.
Oh, okay. And we're going to introduce Lourdes next.
Okay.
We're now joined by Lourdes Ramirez. We all know who Lourdes is, and she has joined Mike Hutchinson with us. And so Lourdes, explain to us what we're doing here this morning.
Well, the county commission is going to look over the possibility of changing the comp plan. This is the start of the process. And what they're going to do is look at 3 proposals to change the comprehensive plan to add these huge hotels on the Siesta Key. And the only way they can do that is to eliminate or change all of these policies of the comprehensive plan that protects Siesta Key. And that's what we're here today. It's the start of the process. They want to ask permission to see if they can go forward. So we'll see what the county commission does, whether they don't let it go forward at all, which is highly unlikely, let only 1 go forward, or let all 3 go forward. We don't know.
And how can individuals and voters and residents in the rest of the county?
There's various ways they can help. Once the process gets started, there will be workshops to attend those workshops, to voice their concerns. Of course, emails are great to the county commission to let them know. Letters to the editor for the Herald Tribune or the Observer or Sarasota News Leader. Anywhere they can, or even Siesta Sands, anywhere they can just voice their concern, let everybody know, especially the county commission. And of course, we have to fundraise because we do have legal representation. And siestakeycommunity.com is where you can go and not only get information and the emails you can send, but also donate to our cause, because we need legal representation. We have to look forward, see what happens if it gets approved at the end in a few months, what litigation may be required. So we really need financial support.
And if they can do this in the county to the comprehensive plan to Siesta Key, they can really do it anywhere in the county.
The thing is, they've been doing it, right? They've been they've been doing it over and over again, changing the comprehensive plan to appease the developers. And the thing about this particular issue is that it's so clear. You know, I mean, it's awful what they're doing throughout the county. But when you have a barrier island with only 2 ways to get off that island and a 2-lane road, the issue of public safety, Siesta Key is so clear that I can't see how they can go around that. So I think it's going to be interesting because this is telling. This is a test. I mean, they've been approving comp plan changes all this time. Well, now it's so clear you're endangering people on Siesta Key. What is your choice? That's what the county commission has to decide. Are you going to put people's lives at risk just to appease your developer friends?
And what's odd is that today, as we stand here in the county, Sarasota County Administrative Building, 2 new slow growth candidates that won election in Venice are being sworn in. So people are really fed up with what's going on.
I think so. That's why when this happened to me, I heard from so many neighbors, and so I know it's not just me. It's just that in our case, it's so clear that it's putting people's lives at risk.
Okay, well, thank you. I know you're both need to get in.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you,
Thank you.
Lourdes.
For doing that.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
Our cameraman.
Yeah.
Reasonable. All right, let's do reasonable.
We're
problem is, so we live in Siesta Island. I'm not in shadow. I'm not like a resident. It's still a different problem. Yeah, well, that's where I was talking about. It's cold there right now.
Commissioners, if you're able, please stand. Will be led in the invocation by Carol.
May the Board of County Commissioners find strength, wisdom, and guidance in their deliberations that affect the lives of each of the citizens of our community. Amen.
We're honored to have Andy Ward, one of our employees in public utilities, with us this morning to lead some pledge. Andy was a senior airman in the Air Force for 6 years. Public achievements: Air Force Achievement Medal, Meritorious Unit Award, Air Force Outstanding Unit Award, Air Force Good Conduct Medal, National Defense.
Lourdes Ramirez.
Good morning. My name is Lourdes Ramirez. In the county's official response in Doha earlier this year, it states, unlike the other barrier islands, Siesta Key has been highly developed and contains some of the county's most intensive residential development. That language has existed in our comp plan since at least 1981. There's a clear reason why county commissioners from even 1960s emphasized there should not be an increase in density or intensity on Siesta Key, and that is to protect the lives of residents and visitors of our island. You have to be really dumb to believe that visitors staying overnight won't impact emergency evacuation times. Of course they will. Visitors, including hotel guests, will have to leave at the same time as residents in an emergency. With Siesta Key already overcrowded, that means we all have to compete to go onto the same 2-lane constrained roads and the same 2 bridges. Adding more people to Siesta Key can lead to deadly consequences. All of these mega hotel proposals will make Siesta Key less safe for residents and visitors. But who will really benefit from these proposals? Well, obviously not the people on Siesta Key, because it will be less safe for us, but also not for the people in Sarasota County. That's because the county owns only about 20% of the beaches out there, and you're adding more people to already overcrowded beaches. Visitors already have trouble getting on the key with all the traffic. Now you're considering adding more daily renters coming in and out, employees, and of course, delivery truck drivers. It only benefits the mega hotel developers in profits as well as bed taxes. As we know, we own a park that used to be called Cooper Creek Park, and UTC Benderson are using that as their stormwater facility. They paid to change the name to Nathan Benderson Park, and despite the promises not to burden Sarasota County taxpayers with maintenance and improvement for that park, we pay over $1 million to maintain that park, and a lot of that is bed taxes. And who generates the most bed taxes in unincorporated Sarasota County? Siesta Key. So that's where I think additional benefit is going for the developers, not only in profit, but also they're getting more bed taxes for that park. And we already pay more than our fair share. So adding mega hotels to Siesta Key does nothing for Sarasota County, does nothing for Siesta Key residents. It just pushes more cash off our island. So the bottom line is this: will Sarasota County stop this nonsense and protect the lives of visitors and residents of Siesta Key? I have a letter from my attorney that got sent to you last night, and I will submit it to the record now. Thank you.
Thank you. Victor Dobrin.
Good morning, commissioners. Victor Dobrin. Although I don't live on Siesta Key, I did consider 7 years ago to move to Siesta Key. I live in the South County. But by you pulling this in front and trying to debate the thing which is out of order in your revision cycle of the comprehensive plan or ULDC, it's in the wrong interests of the people in the whole county. There will be a domino effect. You know, when you change rules in the comprehensive plan, they will have repercussion of all the parts of the county. But looking back to the people who attend here from Siesta Key, the reason I didn't buy in Siesta Key, because I've thought about the place being overdeveloped already. And by adding more stress to an already critical situation, it's out of touch with reality. If you want to think that you are a government of the people, for the people, these are the people. The government exists to strike balances for all the partners in society. The businesses, we need them, but they exist because of the people. You are here because of the people. So please stop this motion. Please end it today and let the people be consulted as they expressed. There are certain procedural things which could take place, but your forefathers, what I consider the former commissioners, they spend the time according to the documents to put in place protections what were needed for the safety, welfare of the people you represent. I do remember from history that in the 17th century, Louis XIV said, "L'État c'est moi." If you want to be the people, please think about that. But he also said, "Après moi, le déluge." You don't want to say that after you are out of the office, you don't care what happens. If they are flooded by impossible traffic, not having access, as it was noted today, to an urgent care facility, which are primary reason for you to be a government of the people, for the people. Put your priorities straight and listen to the people. They are your voters. They are why you exist. Thank you.
Comprehensive Plan Amendment and associated Unified Development Code amendments. For that, we have Laura Wilson.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, I'm Laura Wilson with Planning and Development Services, and I've signed a speaker's card. And since the agenda was printed, additional correspondence was received and has been provided to the clerk. As stated earlier, this is a process step. The County Code in Section 94-84A1 provides for a petitioner to request that the board authorize a privately initiated amendment to be processed out of cycle. Before you today are 3 separate requests for comprehensive plan amendments with companion Unified Development Code amendments to be processed out of cycle, and those are attachments 1 through 3 in your board memo. Staff has not evaluated these requests. This is just a process request. We are asking for board policy guidance whether any of the proposed requests are to be processed out of cycle, and whether to move forward with one, all, none, or any combination of the requests. If the board authorizes any to move forward, the next steps are for the petitioners to have a pre-application meeting with staff to meet the neighborhood workshop requirements and submit an application for staff review. And then that would be followed by Planning Commission and board public hearings. We ask for your policy guidance on these requests at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff? That's okay. So look to the board for discussion on this item. Commissioner Smith?
Well, I guess just briefly, my opinion, being a resident of Siesta Key and have my office out there, is that my opinion, the Siesta Key Chamber of Commerce should move forward, as well as item 3, or number 3, the Stantec proposal, the Kimley Horn with unlimited density on Siesta Key. We've already been through a losing end of a lawsuit there with the DOA decisions, and I'm not comfortable changing a comprehensive plan for unlimited density on Siesta Key. If we're talking about other parts of the county, that's another subject, but I can't support the second one going forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Moran?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. If it's okay, Chair, could I ask legal a question on this? I want to make sure I'm centered on this, if that's okay. So I want to make sure, I think you did a great job, Chair, of making sure the public was clear on this, but I want to make sure I'm clear on it as well. This is a process request. Privately initiated, not publicly initiated, and staff is laying at our feet to say yes or no to go forward with it out of cycle. At that point, if we move any of these forward, one of them forward, two, whatever, all, that's when the community discussion and public input would start with full public hearings, as staff, I think, outlined well. And this is a legislative process. All of these are questions, Josh. Correct me on any of it's wrong. This is a legislative process. It's not quasi-judicial. There won't be findings of fact in a quasi-judicial. At the end of this legislative process, if we say, nah, we're not interested, at that point, we would back off. And through that public process, you would go through pre-app, you'd go through input, neighborhood discussion, staff review, planning commission open to the public, Board of County Commissioner open to the public. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, I think that's a fair summary.
Okay. With that, Chair, I want the most latitude possible. I've said over and over on this dais, there's no substitute for a good project. And ultimately, this board will have the power and authority under that legislative process to not move forward or move forward. With that said, no disrespect, Commissioner Smith, I think it's the opposite for me. It's number 2 would give the most latitude on that to bring projects forward, which again, ultimately under that legislative process, we would have the full authority to decline and not have to go through the findings of fact under that quasi-judicial process. But I'll listen if anybody has anything else to say, but I think the real discussion and real debate from the community will come through those public hearings.
Thank you. Commissioner Rainford?
Yeah, I think that was well outlined, Commissioner Moran. The one thing I listened to some of the testimony previously today in regards to, I believe, attachment 1, and I think just doing a quick study of the amount of acreage that's on the key, and the 75, no more than 75 rooms at 52 units per acre. I mean, that gets you in the 2,300 to 3,000. I'm sorry, that gets you to 1,500 to 2,000 hotel rooms, and then in between 2,300 and 3,100 seats at a bar. So I'm definitely in favor of limiting the transient accommodations, and I think 2 will give us the option to do that. So I'm in favor of number 2.
Okay. So do we have a motion on that?
Sure, Chair. I'll move forward. I'll move forward with option 2 to go forward through the process request.
No second?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Nunder, Commissioner Moran, and a second by Commissioner Rainford.
And just
anything
to be clear, that motion is to move forward with number 2 and not move forward with 1 or 3.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes,
Just want to make sure.
Yep.
Anything further to your motion?
No, thank you, Chair. Again, I think there'll be lots to say by the community, from this board, from staff, from lots of stakeholders in this, but that's not what's before us today. The question is a process request going forward to ultimately go through all of those public hearings at the Board of County Commissioners level as well as the Planning Commission. So, yeah, I'm happy to move forward.
To your second?
Yeah, I just think this needs to be fully vetted out, and I think that's going to happen through this process. And
Yeah, I'm going to support the motion. For me, great testimony, and I appreciate a lot of the thoughts. But one of the ones that caught my attention was Janice Webster when she talked about having to do hard things, and we need solid data before we move forward. And I think that's exactly what we're asking for. We're saying, all right, let's do the work. Let's get the data. Let's put the time in to make sure that we're doing the right things and we have the correct information that we need. And I also did like on the second option there the idea of putting a cap. And I thought if you I think there's like 45 acres, I believe, of commercial out there on the key, and if you limit it to 15%, you're gonna not have the whole Palm Beach thing or whatever was discussed there, because if you have that limitation, you've made that not possible. So I thought that was a good part of that proposal as well. So for those reasons, I'm supportive of it. Commissioner Smith.
Yeah, well, so we're going to say 15%, so it's first come, first serve. So whoever gets their permits in first will be able to have transient accommodations of an unlimited basis. And then after that, everyone else who has commercial general property won't be able to. To me, I think the fair thing to do would to put, if you wanted to have two to go forward, I would have 1 and 2 also go through the public venting process. And so that when it comes before the county commission, we would have an opportunity to hear all the public on the different proposals that are coming forward rather than just the one. I see serious flaws with number 2, but I would like to hear the public's comment on 1 and 2 also. So I think we're narrowing the public input by just having one proposal go forward. So I would propose amending the motion to include 1 and 2 and 3 to go forward with the process.
Mr. Moran.
Chair, I appreciate the comment, Commissioner Smith. My motion will stand. That support of the amendment won't come from me.
Okay. So any further discussion on that? Okay, then seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and call the question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Smith is opposed. Chair votes aye. Moves forward 3-1. All right, with that, we're going to move on to our public hearings. Planning and Development Services. Public hearing A to adopt
Siesta Key is known for its quiet, quaint, small-town feel and, of course, its sugary sand. But neighbors worry that if another high-rise hotel comes to town, their paradise will be lost. Fox 13's Evan Moon is in our newsroom tonight looking at some of the major concerns that these neighbors have. Hey, Evan.
That's right. Their community spoke out tonight at a virtual public meeting about plans for an 8-story high-rise hotel they say will forever change the landscape of Siesta Key. Residents feel this plan by Benderson Development is being fast-tracked. They are trying to preserve their quaint beach town. A proposal to tear down a plaza in the heart of Siesta Key Village and build a 210-room hotel 85 feet high is not being well received by residents. Community members spoke out tonight against the plans by Benderson Development in a virtual meeting with hopes to preserve their quaint and quiet beach town.
We wanted to attend this next neighborhood workshop meeting and object to all of the proposals.
All these developers want to make it look like Miami Beach, and that's not what the people of Siesta Key want.
Traffic is already ridiculous at times on Siesta Key, and I can't see how putting in an 85-foot tall hotel is going to help the traffic situations.
In November, Sarasota County commissioners moved forward to pursue changes to their comprehensive plan, including allowing unlimited density for hotels on Siesta Key. Some residents aren't just worried about the town's landscape, but safety, traffic, and hurricane evacuation concerns.
My number one is public safety, because whether it's a hurricane evacuation, having more and more people, staying on the key that needs to be evacuated, as well as emergency services getting to people who live on the key. We don't have any kind of hospital or anything on the key. So if you have a lot of traffic, and we only have a 2-lane road that goes between the 2 bridges, how is an ambulance going to get to us?
Ramirez started a Protect Siesta Key committee. She says the decision could set a precedent for all future plans, tearing down and building bigger.
Almost every commercial property on Siesta Key can turn into a mega hotel. You'll have these towers all over the village area.
The developer said tonight they believe it would help traffic to have people parking on the key instead of driving in. They say it will be a major tourism destination regardless, but they believe they will manage it better. Now, there are several steps that Benderson Development will have to go through before the proposal even comes back to the county commission for a decision. But many residents are concerned if this hotel is approved, it'll pave the way for additional mega hotels on Siesta Key. In the newsroom, Evan Moon, Fox 13 News.